So all of this inspired some other thinking. I was exercising today. Whenever I have noticed when I exercise, if I want inspiration in my life, I have to exercise. And it's not until I've hit my max where I can't do anymore that the inspiration comes, is what I've noticed. So, today was leg day. And at the end of it, I could barely move my legs. And that's when inspiration started coming. It's never in the first set. It's never at the beginning of the workout. It's always at the very end when my body's done, my brain is done, and then inspiration comes. Don't know why that is. That's how it works for me. Anyway, so as I'm driving home and I'm pondering Heather and her life and this baby, and the Lord has this beautiful plan, knowing what's going to happen. And I started thinking about all you guys, all our homeschoolers here in my homeschool village. And I started thinking about the women who are called. We are called, and God has called us to rise up and raise our children, but he's also called us to rise up and raise others. As Heather has raised her family, she's got a couple years left, but now God has called her to possibly raise someone else's child. And I think that I think this is kind of our calling. This is our movement. This is who we are in my homeschool village, is we have been called to rise up and raise. And I put ... after that raise, because sometimes we're raising our husbands. Sometimes we're raising our children's friends. Sometimes we're raising ourselves. Sometimes we're raising another woman who needs help to rise. And I think that's really what my homeschool village has been about. And it's been a really hard thing for me to put into words of what I feel, what Heather and I feel about my homeschool village and the women that join us, who we are, why we're here. Yes, we homeschool our kids. Yes, we have curriculums for you, but that's not what it's about. It's about, we have been called by God to rise up, to do the harder thing. And we have been called to rise up and to raise others, to raise our children, to raise others' children. Thank you, Lori. We've been called to rise up and raise. And I believe that's who we are. And the women who come into my homeschool village, if you're here, it's because you are in the same boat. And I believe that God is calling us to work together. And that's the whole purpose of my homeschool village, is that we as a group can help to rise up and raise others. We're not just here to rise up ourselves. I see a lot of movements and they're like, I'm going to rise up. Great. For what? And that's why we're here. We're going to rise up to raise each other, to raise our children, to bring others to greatness, to help motivate and to lift those who need to be able to be lifted. And so that's what I've kind of learned out of all of this, in watching Heather and her family heeding the call. They have been heeding the call for years. And the time has come when that baby's needed them for the last 3 years, but now more than ever. And because of that relationship, they're able to do more. And so I think we have to remember this as we're raising our children and struggling, because a lot of days when we're called to rise and raise up, it doesn't look so pretty. But we are, it's the hard days when we're doing our best work, even when we don't feel like it. So Crystal says, my daughter's youth group was just talking about this. One couple has Monday family meals, and anyone and everyone is invited to come. And they have ministered to tons of teens and adults through just supplying a meal and a non-toxic environment filled with love. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, I love that. What a great thing.